What is going on, Supra channel? Welcome back, guys. This is part 5 of the 900 horsepower Supra build. We are going to be working on the Supra today, guys. I'm going to be cleaning up all the residue left from the body shop, putting everything back into place. First thing I want to address is the ABS Elite kit. I actually want to go ahead and put that on now that I have space. Motors in here, I could comfortably put it on. Remember, again, it's just the booster over here. Got to tie up the rear lines and just do that one line over here to the driver's side, and then that one line that travels around the firewall to the passenger side. I could do the AC lines, again, just to be comfortable before we actually put the motor inside, which is ready to go. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the small details, cleaning up, and before we put everything in here. So yeah, guys, excited. This is actually the fun part where the motor goes back into the car. That's the goal for this video. Obviously, I probably won't get it done today, but as far as this video goes, I want to do the motor back in the car, trans back in the car, and pretty much have it looking like a somewhat, you know, like a completed to the eye, because the motor's going to be in there. But and then, you know, all the little details come after that. As far as, you know, fuel system, we still got to do the diff. We still got to do the relocation of the battery to the back, and obviously, you know, long term, probably towards the end, it's going to be the intake manifold install. Then we're going to get, you know, the fab work done to it. And then obviously after that, once everything's singly back together, we're going to go ahead and crank it up, dyno it, and get to enjoy the final product. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys for watching. All right, so we're going to start off with the ABS and the delete kit. I got the car already jacked up here. I got to take the wheels off. I'm going to be taking this washer fluid for the wipers reservoir off, since we're deleting that. I'm going to install the wipers. It should be pretty simple. And before all of that, I'm going to go ahead and install the booster and the clutch master. The master first, because it's in the corner, so it's a tighter space. So we'll go ahead and install that first. Here's the master. I did paint it. You can't get powder coated because there's seals in there, and you cannot heat that up. So check this out. We did this one too. Changed it for the new style, the 97, 98 style. So we got rid of the uglier square one. What else? Yeah, here's the ABS delete kit from PHR. This is the version without the line lock, so it should be even easier. I have the same kit on my Supra, so yeah, should be pretty straightforward. I will show you guys once it's installed, or I might just do like a basic install video, just to show you kind of the layout, how the line goes, but it's pretty self-explanatory, so there's no rocket science behind it. All right, brake booster and clutch master is on. Anybody that's done this, that nut that's over here on the left side, it is a pain in the behind to get to, but it's finally done. Let's see here. Now that this is done, we can start doing the ABS delete kit. Again, it's here. I have it here on the table. I'm gonna set it up now. All the instructions are here, but I'm gonna give you guys just a idiot-proof installation, just in case anybody needs it. Best thing about having Supra when you're working on Supras is you can just copy off the other one. Some time ago, I had to do the research to get it done. Here's mine. Just want to go where does the rear go? So the rear line is this one. So the rear is actually the front one, the front port. All right, guys, so very easy. Obviously, I went to see my car, but it's all here. So this is the back side, and this is how they want you to do it. So you can see I copied it straight from there. These are for the back side of the tires. I believe the 97, 98 style Supras, this already comes teed off, so you only use one line. On the earlier models, like this one that we're working on, the 93, it comes with both ports. So the way they want you to do it is simply, you see your two brake lines down here, just connect these, and this goes to the front port. So we'll tuck it in here somehow, and let me just kind of put it together for you guys. Hold on a second. Obviously I'll bolt it down after, but I want to give you guys a good visual. Those two go down there. This one goes here. This is the passenger side, which is the long one, and it's obviously backwards. This is the caliper side. That's the booster side. And then that goes teed off down here with this line here, which is the driver's side. And then you tee it off, obviously, into the other port for the back side, which is this line right here. So T from the both front tires, driver, passenger, and then this to the port. And then these are your bolts for the calipers. Very simple, guys. Can't get lost. Pretty straightforward. So, all right, guys. So just pretty much wrapped up running the lines for the ABS Elite kit. Check out the driver's side over here. You got the line to the caliper, the little ear here to the factory location. I did an extra sleeve over here with a vacuum hose, just in case there's any vibration over time. That doesn't eat away at the line, just precaution. I had these rubber grommets. Put that in there. Comes out here. Tees off. This is the driver's side. This is passenger side. That goes along the firewall to the other side. And then the other side over here to the back port. And then obviously the front port, it's already connected to the bottom over there. The passenger side I already did. You can't see much because the tire's back on, but let me see if I can sneak the camera in there. You can see it. Same setup. I did the vacuum line and zip tip. I zip tied it so I wouldn't be dangling around. So the passenger side over here, probably gonna use these two holes right here, and just tie it over here with a little clip that I found here. We'll see. All right, we are getting ready to drop in the motor. As you can see, I kind of fitted the harness back where it goes, put the fuse box back in. This is still not final. I still got to put the factory covers and stuff, but I am going to drop the motor in. And then the AC lines, I'm not going to put them in yet because I'm actually going to clean them up and paint them black. And it's going to take a little while to let them dry up. So I want to take advantage of the day. I actually dropped the motor in today. So what I want to do now is set up the hooks really quick. The bolts there, yeah, they're here. So yeah, I'm gonna put in the hooks on really quick, get her on the hoist, and drop her back in there. And I'm gonna set up my GoPro up here on the roof, just so we can get a nice little view of the motor going back into its home. Guys, I know I didn't record after the time lapse dropping the motor in, but there's a couple little things that I need to address, so I didn't really pick up the camera until now. I had to readjust the dump tubes for the wastegate. Obviously, you know, they're supposed to go pointing outward into the atmosphere outside where that hole is, and they were kind of hitting there on the subframe, so I had to remove them around. This brake line, I'm gonna have to do something or move it around somewhere. Maybe when the AC line is on, I get it zip tied to the AC line or something, so it doesn't, you know, if I leave it loose, it's gonna be very, very, very close to the dump tube. That's not gonna be too safe. But yeah, check it out. Got it in there one piece, nothing got scratched. Put on the radiator support, crash bar, wiper motor. Yeah, fuse box, the shock towers are on. Starting to look a lot better, man. The white and the black looks really, really good. So didn't get to put on the trans today, but it'll be for next time. I think we did a lot today. A lot of little things that take a lot of time, and you know, that's what sets us back. So what's up, guys? Welcome back. We are here a week after the motor install. Haven't done much this week. Been slammed with work, but let's get back to this. Today we're going to be working on the transmission reinstall. Obviously, you know, we're gonna go ahead and get a new clutch in there. We decided to go back to, or at least I decided to go back to the RPS. This is an RPS twin disc. I ran this for many, many years, all the way up to like 1,000 horsepower with no issues. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I prefer the RPS way over the OS Gaiken that I put on the Supra. The always Geiken is just very, very sensitive, especially coming out of a light. And to be honest, it's just not as easy going as a RPS. You constantly have to be revving it past, 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, so you could get it to slip a little bit and not turn off on you. Obviously, that was an issue with the RPS, so I decided, and I actually recommended my buddy to go with the RPS for his build. Let's see here. What do we have here? These are the torque specs. These are the cover bolts are outside, 25 to 28, and the flywheel bolts 60 to 65. Which I don't know, which the ARP bolts I remember I was doing like 90, 95 for some reason. I don't know why it's so low, but I'll double check on that. Let me go ahead and take this out really quick. Hold on. All right, here it is. I think they redesigned this one more time after again. I know they have gone through a couple of revisions. The snap ring on the flywheel, on the pressure plate was an issue back in the day. The snap ring used to come off, which obviously the reason that I think I parted ways with mine. But I think according to them that they took care of all those issues. So let's see here. Keep slapping. All right, so yeah, definitely. Oh, look, nice. Even a new pilot bearing. Definitely the new ARP hardware. And we have all this stuff here that I got to put in. But this is okay. So the snap ring's in there. Okay, I see what it is. Maybe they redesigned something. Who knows? So we're just gonna play by ear and follow their instructions and do exactly as they said. So you see this in there. This is new. That wasn't there before. I don't remember seeing this. But yeah, looks and obviously these are a little different now. I guess they have 3 bolts, 3 and 3, space, 3 and 3, space. That wasn't that. I remember before it would always kind of go all the way around. So maybe they redesigned some stuff around, and hopefully this is for the better. So let's go ahead and take this thing apart, get the flywheel installed, get the new pilot bearing on. We're gonna do the old trick with the bread and the bolts to pop the other one out, and we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and do the little bread trick on the pilot bearing. I'm sure this is not anything new to anybody because this is all over. It's been done a very long time. Yes, the bread is a day old, so don't judge me. I'm not throwing away new bread. This is the only bread I had, but the softer the bread, the better. So if you have that soft toasted bread, it's even easier. So basically what we're doing is just pretty much stuffing the center hole of the pilot bearing. Try to get as much bread as you can in there so it can just expand and push it out as you tap it in. This bread is a little hard, but not that hard, but if you do it with that soft square toaster bread, that's really soft, that's even easier because it goes into the hole a lot faster. So this one we gotta be pushing it in. Obviously when I go back and edit this video, I'm probably gonna do a time lapse or speed it up because we're gonna be here for a couple minutes. Voila. Check it out. Bearing is finally out. The old one. And this is what you're going to be left in here with. All that bread. So I'm going to get a nice flathead, obviously, and clean out all this bread that we stuffed in here to push out the bearing. And yes, we did pretty much use all of the inside of the bread, so that's the skin outside. I gotta pick up this mess and obviously clean up here. I'm gonna brush off the little residue that's left of the Loctite from the old flywheel and go ahead and install this new flywheel. Okay, so we are gonna go ahead and install the flywheel now. Here it is. Here are the 8 ARP bolts. Again, I have done this many times. The RPS instructions, for some reason, I know it's manufactured now, I recommend 60 to 65 foot-pounds of torque on the flywheel bolts, but I have always done like upwards of 95, 100, And I was reading online again, and that's what people suggested. Some me like 80. I'm just gonna stick to it to 90, to 90, not 95, 90. So yeah, I'm gonna use the red Loctite that they provided. Red Loctite ARP bolts. ARP, and yeah, I don't think it should be a problem. I have always done it like that. I have had many years ago when my car was non-turbo, I had a flywheel come loose, and it's not fun. So when it comes to this, I rather, honestly, if I know the bolt could take the pressure or the torque, I'd rather over tighten them than what they recommend than having them come loose. So tighter seems better than 60 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with my gut on this one and do the 90 foot-pounds. So let's go ahead and install this flywheel, and obviously both hands. So I'm gonna put the camera down on the tripod. All right, so we got the camera there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put the flywheel on, and then I'm just gonna put one bolt so I hold it in place so we don't have any accidents of this thing coming down because it's pretty heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use one bolt. All right, that way we know there's no accidents. I have my torque wrench here set up, and then I'm just gonna start going now one by one, applying the red Loctite. I'll do the first one here. Yes, red Loctite, very important for these bolts. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. Tie it all the way in. I need to lock up the motor in the front somewhere. See if I can hold it down, which I doubt it, but I'll try. Okay, I guess I am able to hold it. All right, so that's the force bolt. Repeat 8 times. I'm gonna go ahead and take the one that I had on there, just for holding purposes, and Loctite and put it on there so I get out of the way. And then obviously this part of the video, I'll just fast forward and speed it up because, not fast forward, man, I'll just speed it up because there's no point in you guys watching 10 minutes worth of Loctite 8 bolts and tying them. So. All right, so remember, tilt the motor back. Got this piece of 2x4 here. You have it nicely tilted back here. That way it's easier for the angle of the transmission. You're not hitting the sub-tunnel or the trans-tunnel, whatever you want to call it. I put these rags just back here just in case it goes a little further, but I think it's pretty tilted back, so it's not going to go any further. But just in case, you never know, we have a freshly painted engine bay and we don't want to mess that up. So that is the reason why the rags are there. So let's go ahead and get the clutch over here now so I can show you guys really quick. The same way that it came built needs to go back in. Remember, this is not like the OS Geiken. And let me see here on the floor. It's not like the OS Geiken that we could just put everything on the back of the motor and then pop the trans in. This, we actually need to put the clutch in here, everything minus the flywheel, then lift it up, then mate it with the motor that way. So what we're gonna do is here, the first thing we're gonna do here is the pressure plate, the cover plate, that goes in first. Slide it all the way back. Okay. Then you have the clutch, one of the discs. Remember, again, don't take it out of order. And one of the floaters here. And then you have your orange mark. Obviously, your orange mark is here. And it goes in there. and float around. So you're not gonna have the exact position until obviously it's not back in there. But here's the other disc, and that's what's gonna hold it in place. So once this is all in the trans and it's all connected, then through these two, axes over here on the side of the trans, you could, little by little, you have to wiggle them in and slide them into place to mate with the other side, which is the flywheel, and then that's when you line up all the orange stuff together. And obviously, if you want to make it easier, you could just slide it over here now, so you can have the orange on one of the sides. So when you're looking for it, you're not going crazy for it. So, but yeah. So now we'll get, obviously what we're gonna do now is the hard part and pop the trans back on the motor to mate it. I have my starter here. I have all the transmission hardware, which I labeled, and obviously just a bunch of extensions, my 14s and my 17s, because that's all we need for the trans. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and set up the tripod here, and I will do like a quick little time lapse of the trans, which is pretty normal to me, or I guess just popping in there. Let's see how easy this one is. Sometimes they just pop right in place. Sometimes you got to move them around and wiggle them around so they pop in. But all right, guys, you saw it. So probably from start that I got the trans on my stomach to it being installed was a good 25 minutes. This one didn't fight me at all. It was very, very simple. Just pop this here in the clip here. Okay. So yeah, this was a pretty easy one. What I was telling you guys now, I'm gonna go ahead and slide all the disc and the floaters onto the flywheel, and then all we need to do is through the slave hole, you get access to the bolt here. So you go across here into the flywheel. Obviously you spin the crank over there. You got to find hole by hole, and I think you got to use Loctite, and that's what they want to do, 28 foot-pounds of torque. So yeah, well, obviously you need both hands from both sides here, one here, and you just kind of slide everything into place, and obviously look for the orange marks on the clutch from the factory. And that's it. Trans and clutch is done. All we need to do is pop in the fork, which I think we forgot to order a new one. I'm gonna look at the old one, and if it's too worn out, I'm just gonna wait and put the new one. Either way, it's just pop it in there, pop the slave, 2 bolts, and we're done with that. So we have clutch fully installed. I actually put on the old fork. I was looking at it. I cleaned it up. It doesn't look that way, so it looks good. We got a new slave in here. It's obviously sealed off. I need to get a new line for it. Probably one of those nice black braided lines. Let's see what else here. Got rid of all the old fuel lines. These are the only 2 remaining, which are the brake lines for the rear. I cut them up to there, so we're a little cleaner once we start working on the fuel system. I'm gonna go ahead and go outside now and start setting up maybe the condenser, the AC lines, and whatnot. But we're all done here. We're all done down here. Reason I didn't put the dry shaft on is because we still gotta bring the diff down and do the LSD in there. All right, working my way here. Gonna go ahead and install the new condenser here. This is the old one. That's why I didn't get rid of it, because we still have the old lines that we need to use. So you can see we still need to use this one. This whole, whatever this line is here, it's rusted, but I guess we're gonna have to use that. Yeah, just pretty much gonna take everything off from here and just copy it over in the other one. Obviously we're not gonna use this receiver tank. We have a new one here. Yeah. All right, guys, so the other thing that I want to put on video, because I know it was super tight and somebody asked me about it. Here's the factory water neck with the PHR rotator and the manifold. So when you look at it from the eye view, it's very, very close. But we feed it down here to the bottom, and if you put it right there where it's supposed to go, it clears it. It's tight, but it clears it. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I got that on film. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt it down, and I will go ahead and show it after it's all nice and bolted down. But yeah, all right, so just about wrapped it up here, guys. It's dark, late. I've been doing a lot of little details that it's pretty pointless to catch on video, but they're very, very time consuming, such as the locks, running the lines, you know, putting the way it goes, looking it up on pictures, because obviously I didn't remember off the top of my head. The condenser's on, all the AC lines are on, you know, just pretty much everything, you know, everything that's front end. I was gonna go ahead and put the radiator, but you know, for what, just put it on there, but we'll do it on the next video. I went ahead and put all the factory looms back on. I try to put it as OEM as possible after, you know, cleaning up the wiring and whatnot. So I'm pretty happy how that came out. Put the cowl back on. I'm gonna consult my buddy, maybe he wants to put a new one, so it's up to him, but as of now, I put the old one on. I figure we're not gonna be there anymore. I put the wipers on. Shout out to Powder. We had these powder coated too. They look brand new. The water net, guys, that's on there, all bolted down exactly how it says. Remember, it's a very close fit, but Powerhouse, they have it down packed. It's the exact fit. Also did the covers for the AC lines and the heater core. So all that's back on there. Transmission's already back on. So yeah, we got a lot done. For the next video, we're probably just gonna start focusing on more, you know, more engine-based stuff. Probably, you know, probably a radiator, you know, catch can. This I want to clean up. I'm not happy how this looks here. I'm probably gonna do like a nice loom to it. So I definitely got to clean this up. What else we got to do here? I got to take the hooks off. We're not going to be using those. Just honestly forgot to get them removed. I'm waiting for the water neck to get here. That's why I probably, you know, on the next one when I do the radiator, I'll cover that. And yeah, so I think we're moving along pretty nicely here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and close out part 5 here, since we do have a lot. We have the engine install, tranny install, and we have a bunch of little miscellaneous stuff on. So I think that's a good footage for this part of the series, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all the support and the feedback, all the comments, guys. You know, like always, I do read everything. I try to respond to everybody and try to get back to you. So thank you guys for the support, and thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys. Later.